What's up guys, JV2017 here with my very first No Man's Sky tips and tricks video. And for this first video, I thought it would make sense to share some beginner tips to help you get started in your journey to the center of the universe. This is a random assortment of things I've observed in my first 4 hours of playtime that should help you along in your first few hours. First off, we're going to talk about survival, and there are a variety of hostile environments that you can encounter on any given planet. There's a possibility that your very first starter planet is going to have a harsh environment. In fact, my starter planet had poison rain, and it was constantly something I had to worry about, as you can see in this footage from my launch stream. Luckily, there are a few things you can learn early on that will definitely help you survive these harsh environments. First off, your exosuit has 3 parts: your jetpack, your hazard protection, and your life support. Over time, your hazard protection and life support will slowly drain as you explore and use your suit. You'll need to use specific resources in order to charge them up through the inventory screen by clicking X on the specific tile. Hazard protection only drains if you're in an environment that requires that hazard protection, and you'll know if that's the case when there's a colored bar that appears above your life support in the bottom left corner. In order to charge your hazard protection, you will need oxide elements, which are yellow. It's kind of represented by a yellow color. And the most common form is iron, and you'll find that on nearly every planet, but you can also use zinc, titanium, and shielding shard items to charge your hazard protection. Next is your life support, and that seems to drain no matter what environment or planet you're on. You just have to be walking around and using it. Charging this tile requires isotopes, which come in the form of thamium-9, carbon, and plutonium, and they're all red. The most common is carbon, of course, and you'll find that on nearly every planet, just like with iron. So those are some basic concepts that you just learn by playing the game a little bit, but I just want to share them quickly with you guys. Now I'll share a few tricks that I've used to survive that aren't, overtly obvious. First off, until you get a decent amount of carbon for your hazard protection, it's a good idea to stick around your ship in the first hour of the game, because no matter what, you can always hop back into your ship and your hazard protection will recharge automatically. No need to waste carbon or any other kind of isotope element in order to recharge it. It'll do it for you. So that's something definitely that's very useful and help you save resources. Next up, you can find plants that will recharge your hazard protection automatically without wasting any resources. And you can find these with the scanner by clicking the left stick. You should have one by default on your mining laser. This will mark nearby points of interest, and the plants that you need are marked by a green cross symbol. I'm not sure if every single hazardous planet has these, for the specific hazard, like toxic plants for a toxic planet, but they were super helpful for me on my first planet. Finally, another way to avoid hazards is to find shelter, and you can go into any structure to get away from hazards. So if you see some buildings nearby with some aliens inside, you can go in those and get rid of that hazard, that you've been dealing with. Or you can also hide away in a cave. Once you enter a cave system, you'll see that your hazard levels will stabilize. That means you won't be suffering from that hazard protection damage. You won't need to waste those resources. So that's also a great way to go ahead and recharge your hazard protection. Now we're going to turn our attention to the inventory screen. One of the first things you have to do in this game is repair your ship, and that requires you to collect certain resources and produce carite sheets. It took me at least 30 minutes to figure out how to produce items, so I figured I would save you the time and show you right here. In order to produce an item, you need to click square on any empty slot in your inventory, of course if you're on PS4. That opens a submenu that displays all of your crafting blueprints. Over time you'll collect more, and they will always show up here so you know where to look. You can scroll over each item that you can produce, and it'll tell you what you need to produce that item, and if you can produce it, it'll be lit up. If you can't, it will be dimmed. So anytime you're looking at something and you're thinking, I have no idea what that is or if I can produce it, check back here to see if you can actually craft it, because you might be able to. Another thing I struggled with in my first few hours was managing my inventory. You don't start out with a ton of space, and if you do enough exploring, you'll find a variety of resources, trade items, and upgrades. Those all take up slots, so you'll run out of space fairly quickly. Here are a few small tips for keeping your inventory clean. First off, don't pick up every single iron and carbon resource that you see. Those are super abundant, and no matter what planet you're on, you're likely to find those very easily. So if you need carbon or iron, you should only grab those on an as-needed basis. Next, remember that you can also transfer items to your ship from your exosuit with the triangle button. No matter where you are or how far you are away from your ship, you can send anything to your ship's inventory from your exosuit inventory. However, please be careful because it doesn't work the other way around. As in, you can't send stuff from your ship to yourself unless you're close to your ship. So I've had a scenario where I needed some iron, I accidentally transferred it from my suit to my ship, and then I couldn't get it back, I had to go get more. So keep that in mind when you're transferring stuff. Also, it's good to note that if you die, if you're in a dangerous scenario and you're gonna die, you know you're gonna die, it's a good idea to transfer everything to your ship because you will lose all of that stuff if it's just on your exosuit and you don't return to your grave. You will have a grave marker so you can return and get that stuff, but if you don't plan on going back, you're in a dangerous area, you don't want to go back, then transfer your stuff to your ship very quickly. The final tip I have to share is to upload all of your discoveries. Each planet that you visit has a set of rocks, creatures, plants, and waypoints to discover. Using L2, you can scan all of these objects and they will appear in the Discoveries tab on the pause menu. For each discovery, you can either upload it automatically or rename and upload it. Either way, you'll receive units for uploading discoveries and you'll make progress towards the giant reward you get for completing everything on the planet. Keep in mind, you can also upload and rename the planets themselves as well as the waypoints on each planet. So if you want to rename a planet, scroll to the left side and then click either triangle or square to either rename and upload or just upload it. So that was my random assortment of quick tips that I think would be really helpful for you guys just starting out. But I'd like to hear from you. What are your first impressions of No Man's Sky? I'm still kind of processing and digesting this game. It's really unique. It feels a lot like Minecraft. I know a lot of people are going to hate this, but it does feel a lot like Minecraft in space, but more of a Minecraft kind of crafting game that I would want to play. It's not just, you know, boring vanilla Minecraft. It's in space, and you've got all these infinite planets. You can go to different ones and discover things. It's truly a space exploration experience. I'm really falling in love with it. Share what you're feeling about this game in the comment section below. If you learned something new or enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe for my Journey to the Center series and No Man's Sky tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.